Who wants to guess what's in this box?
Something with steak.
Star Wars stuff.
Oh, lunch.
So
Oh, no.
this is my Anova precision cooker, and this is what I'm going to be talking about today. Sous vide cooking is basically cooking food inside a vacuum sealed bag or a Ziploc bag with most of the air pushed out if you don't have a vacuum sealer. So the most important thing that this machine provides is the precision and control over the temperature for your food, whatever food that you're cooking. Because the food is cooked inside the bag in some kind of vessel of water, the temperature of your food is directly correlated with the temperature of the water. So it's very different from if you're cooking it on the stove or if it's in the oven, that's usually through air. So let me show you what this thing looks like. Oh, sorry. It says, "Welcome to the future of cooking." So the brand for this particular machine is Anova. There's a lot of different brands out there that makes the immersion circulator to cook using the sous vide method. This machine is going to heat up to the temperature that you set on using these dials, and this display will show the temperature that you select. With the precision provided by this machine, the fear of overcooking your fish or your steak is finally over once you start using something like this. I'm very excited to share with you. You can cook like very soft and flaky fish very easily with just a touch of a button. And if you like poached eggs, those cooks out there, you know how hard it is to make poached eggs, right? So you can actually cook poached eggs with inside the eggshell using this machine. You just have to drop it in the water and set the time and the temperature. So, and my favorite thing to make with this machine is any kind of beef, usually steak, and you can really get to the perfect doneness that you want just by selecting the temperature that's appropriate for that, like a medium or medium well. So in order to use this machine, first you can just hook this to any cooking vessel you have around the house. It could be like a large stock pot. Sometimes if I'm cooking something that's too big, I can use actually a insulated cooler. And so that if you have like a large pork shoulder or something like that, then I can just stick it in there. So any vessel that you have around the house that can hold water, that would be perfect for it. So once you hook it in there, you would fill up the water, and you would fill up the water somewhere between the minimum and maximum, and that will get you started. So whether you're trying to cook fish, steak, chicken, or anything really, one of the most important things that you want to do first is to prepare your ingredients. So just very simple, you can just add salt, pepper, oil. You don't need to do anything fancy, but if you do want to kind of get to the next level, you can even add other ingredients like lemon, garlic, onion, herbs like rosemary, thyme, stuff like that to kind of enhance the flavor. So once it's ready, you add a lot of additional flavors to your food. So once you season your meat and you put it in the bag, you want to remove all the air from the bag. And so you would put because if you don't remove all the air, then it would not float. I mean, it would float and not sink to the bottom. And you want to kind of have the water touch all sides to ensure every inch of that food is covered in water. So if you're using the Ziploc bag, you can just squeeze it out, and then, or if you want to use the water displacement, you can do that by leaving a small hole and just just dip in the water and then seal it. So while using this machine does allow precision and control over whatever that you're cooking, it does generally take a longer time to do. If you're already cooking a steak, it normally probably only takes 10 to 15 minutes, but using this machine, it could take an hour, and if it's thicker, it could take up to 2 hours. So it really takes a while, but the good thing is if you're hosting a party, this is something you don't really need to watch over. You can just kind of leave it on the side. It will just do its thing. And then, so for example, like if I was doing Thanksgiving, usually I like to bring tri-tip and some sides. I can just set up the tri-tip, and then over here I can do my sides, and that will just kind of get going while I'm working on other stuff. So it's really good if you need a multitask, you have a lot of things going on if you're doing a party. So talk about finishing. So even though the food or the steak is ready to eat right out of the bag, you can improve by searing it, and it will give it a lot of color that's like more deep brown, and the edges will be more crispy. If you're making like a fish, that you can get it crisp up if you like fry it on the pan for about a minute and a half on each side, or throw it on the grill if you're cooking like a steak, and that will greatly improve the flavors. But if you don't feel like doing it, you can just eat it straight out of the bag. That's totally fine. So this is just one of the brands that sells this type of immersion circulator. There's actually a lot more brands out there. There's like Sensier, and there's one other one I don't really remember. But if you go out there and search for the devices, they range about $60 to $200, depending on like the type of features that you want, because some come with Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. And I think it's really easy for anyone to get started using this into their home cooking, and I really think that kind of elevates it to the next level. Just it's pretty simple to use, and there's a lot of great resources out there to kind of tell you like the time and the temperature that you would need to cook. Like for example, like on the back of this thing, it shows you like the temperature and the time, if you want to look at that. So there's a lot of online resources to show what you need to do in order to achieve the results that you want to get. So I really encourage everyone to research more on this and get to know about this new cooking method. And remember about all the online resources you can find. And I would love to hear if you try it out for yourself.
Oh, good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. So I have the privilege of evaluating Peggy's speech. Peggy, fantastic speech. You were well prepared, well rehearsed, and well practiced. Your speech was very organized. You started the speech with leading with a question, so that got us our attention, and then you showed the device, and so then that kind of gave us a visual on what it is that you were presenting. So that was very good. You educated us on this type of method of cooking, which I never heard before, and it's kind of fascinating to cook a steak for 1 or 2 hours. I mean, I can't do it. I mean, I like to cook my steak maybe like 5-10 minutes, and then just go at it. But hey, if it works for you and you could cook for a large number of people, then it's awesome. The purpose of this speech was to use your feedback from your prior speech and to improve on the speech. And on the last speech, you had 2 areas of improvement. One was to use less notes, and the second one was to use better eye contact. On the first improvement that you had, which was using less notes, I felt like you could accomplish that. You didn't really go into and read from your paper. You glanced at it, and then you spoke. So that was excellent. As far as the eye contact, that was also very good. You did look at the audience, but I felt the eye contact was directly towards this side more than this. So yeah. So if you engage, maybe like I said, maybe we're not looking on this side. I don't know. So if we look at this side more, a little bit more around the audience, that would be great. But other than that, everything was excellent. Your speech, you used simple language, which is very easy to understand. Your vocal variety was also very good. You spoke loud. I would kind of like just suggest a little bit of using a little bit more pauses and a little bit of stressing, I guess hitting different notes when you're there. But other than that, it was very good. Your gesture was excellent. You used good hand. Your confidence and your posture was also very good. The only thing I would recommend is, well, your speech didn't call for it because you were presenting and educating us on an item, but I guess maybe use the front stage a little bit more. But on the speech, I didn't felt that was necessary. But overall, the speech was excellent, and you, like I said, you were well prepared and you didn't use any notes, so that's very good. Thank you.